Well, the breaking defendant Trump news of the night is that Donald Trump has to give up his guns.
Is it just me, or is it weird that Donald Trump, a former president who is currently running for president, has to give up his guns while the son of the current president is currently on trial for illegal possession of a firearm? I tell you, we are living in some very wonky times.
Donald Trump, who has had bodyguards for many, many years before he had Secret Service protection, never had any rational reason to carry or even possess a firearm.
What a goofy statement to make. What does Donald Trump having bodyguards have anything to do with the price of tea in China? If I had bodyguards, I would still carry a gun. Ronald Reagan was surrounded by Secret Service when he got shot. Need I remind you of what happened to Abraham Lincoln? Wasn't that guy whose assassination started World War I surrounded by bodyguards when he was killed? Man, what are you talking about? It makes all the sense in the world for Donald Trump to have a gun. But even if he didn't, please point out to me where in the Bill of Rights does it say you have to have a reason to own a firearm? I assure you it doesn't. But pay attention to how he says Donald Trump doesn't need a gun because he has bodyguards while simultaneously pushing gun control that would make it harder for people who don't have bodyguards to get a gun for protection in the first place. So they clearly are aware that people do indeed need guns for protection if they don't have a bodyguard, but they just don't care.
Like many people who hope that a handgun might make them feel, I don't know, more like a man.
What? Who wrote this, a third grader? You do realize that women accounted for half of all gun purchases between 2019 and 2021. So what are you saying? All of those women who went and bought guns were buying them so that they can feel more manly? This is such a phenomenally stupid take. People don't purchase guns to feel manly, they purchase them for protection. It's really that simple. Talk about protection. Better yet, let's talk about how the largest and most comprehensive survey on American gun owners found that 1.7 million people use their guns in self-defense each year. How's that for feeling manly?
Donald Trump owns 3 handguns, and he obtained a license to carry a concealed handgun, a license that the New York Police Department now wants to revoke. Under the headline, NYPD moves to revoke Trump's license to carry a gun, the New York Times is reporting, quote, the police department is seeking to revoke former President Donald J. Trump's license to carry a concealed weapon after his conviction in his New York hush money case. According to 2 people with knowledge of the matter, Mr. Trump had a concealed carry permit in New York and had 3 pistols registered under the permit, the people said. 2 of them were turned over to the police department's license division around the time Mr. Trump was charged in April 2023 with 34 counts of falsifying business records, according to the people with knowledge of the matter. The 3rd pistol had already been legally transferred to Florida. It is unclear whether it is still in Mr. Trump's possession. Under federal law and state law in New York and Florida, people with felony convictions are barred from possessing a firearm. So now that Donald Trump is a convicted felon, not only will he lose his license to carry a concealed firearm, it is now illegal for him to even possess the handguns that he never had any rational reason to possess. Even though Donald Trump doesn't need those guns and never used them, losing his license will feel like a man losing his possession of something important to him. It will feel like he lost all of that thanks to the unanimous verdict of 12 New Yorkers. And that will be a form of torture for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is used to having no one telling him what to do, but he is finding out that a lot of people can tell a convicted felon what to do, including judges and probation officers and the NYPD's gun license division.
Oh, don't worry about finding that other pistol. I assure you he lost it in a boating accident. And there's no way this segment aired on national television. I've heard customer service agents in India articulate their points better than this guy. I even think Joe Biden would give him a run for his money. But this is the state of our mainstream media in this country. A bunch of intellectual airheads who can barely read a prompter telling us what we need and don't need for our protection. But all jokes aside, I don't believe someone who has a non-violent felony should be stripped of their Second Amendment rights. It doesn't make any logical sense to me. Denying a non-violent felon a firearm doesn't make the country any safer or more dangerous. I understand the argument for denying someone who has a violent felony from owning a firearm, but even then, once a person has paid their dues and shown they've committed to turning their lives around, keeping them from owning a gun for self-defense just feels wrong. The right to bear arms is a core part of our freedom and security as Americans. If the justice system says they're safe to be back in society, then giving them back their gun rights recognizes their effort to reform and help them fully reintegrate back into society. Keep in mind, this is coming from someone who doesn't trust anyone. I believe there should be some way for violent felons to get their rights back after they've demonstrated that they are no longer a threat to society. I don't know exactly what that process would look like, but that pathway should be available. Once you're back into society, you should have the ability to protect yourself. Granted, with violent felonies, there should be a much tougher vetting process. I'm not saying as soon as they get out, just give them their right to own a firearm again, but I just think there should be a pathway. But every American has a right to self-defense in this country, unless you've demonstrated that you are too much of a danger to society. And in that case, why are they still in society? I don't have all the answers here, but my feelings over time have definitely changed from hell no, they shouldn't get their rights back to actually there should be a way for them to get their rights back. But what do you think? Should a nonviolent felon be able to get their 2A rights back? And should a violent felon be able to get their 2A rights back? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And don't forget about the flash sale going on right now for shop.mrcolionnoir.com. Right now, you'll get 15% off your order when you use the code DADDAYT. And if in your order, you have a t-shirt like this awesome Let's Go Brandon 2A shirt that I'm wearing right now, not this shirt in particular, but you can have this shirt in there too, but any shirt. If you have any shirt in your order, you'll also get a free CN white t-shirt or a white amosexual t-shirt. So click the link in the description section of this video and take advantage of the sale before it ends. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you, and we're all fighting this culture war together. Now you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.